So, very warm welcome. You're watching the weekly edition of Your Trades on ET Now. This is Priyanka Uppal along with me, Snehi Shah. Snehi, we will remember this week for long because there were many milestones which were achieved this week.
Absolutely. Good week coming for us.
Good week. We crossed 23,000 for the first time ever on Nifty. We crossed 5 trillion market cap on BSE for the first time. And in fact, many stocks at their all-time high also. But then the week concluded, the whole week, Indian equities concluded the whole week on a positive note, and that to be for the 4th straight week. The gains were awesome. Nifty weekly gains were more than 2%, 2.24% precisely. And this is a second straight record-breaking session also, which we saw today. Nifty crossed 23,000. However, we narrowly missed it yesterday, but then better late than never. It did achieve today. Sensex closed 2.6% higher today. Mid-cap did not, the benchmarks were outperforming this week. Nifty, Bank Nifty. Mid-cap was lower. However, it was still 1.72% of gains for this week. BSE market cap crossed $5 trillion this week, and the last 1 trillion journey just happened in 6 months. From $4 trillion to $5 trillion, we just crossed in 6 months. RBI's, of course, record surplus transfer to the government in form of dividend. This boosted the market sentiment, and of course, the banking stocks were at a fire for this whole week. The Nifty gainers were clearly the Adani-backed stocks, Adani Enterprise, Adani Ports, Coal India, Divi's Lab. We did saw some losers for the day, and in fact, these are for the week data also. Sun Pharma lost around about 3%, though the numbers improved on domestic and the export front. But then Pharma towards the FMCG and the defensive pack were the losers what we saw in the terms of the weekly movement. Apollo Hospital was another counter, but then top sectors clearly it was metal. Dollar index continues to be lower. It is around about 105, nearly 105. Metal was a top gainer, gaining 4% for this week. PSU was a second top gainer, gaining nearly 3.5%. Oil and gas comes on the 3rd place. So a lot of PSU space stocks were buzzing this whole week, especially from the broader market. Stocks like BDL, which gained more than 30%. RVNL gained more than 20%, 28% to be precise. Mazagon Dock gained 16% this week. And of course, a lot of macro factors which are at a play. Dollar index was steady at 105. Yields are steady. However, they did inch a little higher yesterday because of the strong economic data. But then, and gold have started pulling back from the record levels. So, good macro cues, and of course the pre-election jitters, which was actually creating a lot of volatility in the market, looked stable for this whole week, Sneh.
And keeping it with macros, right? Let's also talk about yet another important macro that we did see today. The rupee has strengthened to a very good level against the dollar on Friday. So that was the big news of the week also that took place. But while we're talking about record highs, it's not only the Nifty and Sensex. Like Priyanka mentioned, you had the mid-cap index also hitting a record high. Nifty Metal has hit a record high. Nifty Auto has also hit a record high. So, and all the sectors have ended the weekly session in the green. So, very stellar moves coming over there as well. But let's also talk about some big earning buzzers that we did see over the course of this entire week. BHEL was a miss on all fronts. The stock took a beating on the back of that number. The Q4 numbers that came in. ITC, then revenue and PAT were in line. Margins were above, so good set of numbers coming over there. Indigo also, Interglobe Aviation, overall a good set of numbers coming in. Astral was in line, Nykaa was in line. So these were all the big buzzers of the week that went by. Paytm also, revenue and EBITDA was better than estimated. However, PAT was a miss owing to the impairment provision that was booked in the quarter. So that was on Paytm. Sun Pharma, however, like Priyanka mentioned, big loser of the week, and that was also on the back of some weak commentary that the management did give for FY25 that was not very well liked by the street. And overall, well, good set of numbers for Indigo, JK Lakshmi, Honasa Consumer. You had Barbecue Nation, Johnson Controls, Rupa, Sandhar Tech, Bikaji, Ikra, Fortis, Shilpa Medicare, all across the street, good numbers coming in. On the flip side, you had a poor set of numbers coming in from Purvankara, CESE, Radiant Cash, TD Power, as well as Shreyas Shipping. Schneider, Cello, Vaibhav, Time Techno, Amrutarjan, Senco, all largely in line with what the street was expecting. So overall, this is the market wrap for the week that went by. But to understand what lies ahead and how do we go go about with the market after it has reached another record high? To decipher all of this, we have on board with us Osho Krishnan, Senior Analyst and Technical and Derivative Research at Angel One. Along with that, we also have Sudeep Bandyopadhyay, the Group Chairman at IndiTrade Capital. Gentlemen, thanks so much for taking the time out and joining us. And Sudeep, let me come to you first. Help us understand what next, right, for the markets, because after touching this record high, now the question that naturally pops up into all investors' mind is what next? Where do we go ahead? 2 phases of elections are still left, and do you think the street has digested that volatility? Do you expect more to come as and when the election result or the outcome comes on the 4th of June? What next for the Nifty overall?
Of volatility. The volatility will continue effectively till 4th because there will be, all kind of speculation, news flow, the exit poll will come, opinion polls will come. So volatility we have to brace for. But having said that, if you are asking about the direction of the market, I think we are in a phase where the market will continue to inch upwards. We have seen volatility, we have seen markets dipping, but every dip has been an opportunity and buying has come in after every dip. Look at what happened even earlier this week. The dip came and then the buying finally came in. Short covering, buying, everything came in. So I think, we are in a very good space that way. We have not seen too much of FII participation, before yesterday, short covering, and today's, I think, also a little bit of buying. FIIs were by and large sellers. I think that is slowly changing. And this, to my mind, post-election will take the market to newer highs. Of course, we are at all-time highs, but we will see newer highs again and again. Post-election results are coming out. We are factoring in, the market is factoring in some kind of continuity as far as the present government is concerned. And under the circumstances, the policies, the by and large, the economic scenario is expected to continue in the same direction, and the market likes it. And pretty much that's the reason why market is giving it a thumbs up.
All right, market is giving a thumbs up, but then what to do when we've already crossed the all-time high? Time to hold or maybe wait to re-enter on a dip? Osho Krishnan joins in to tell us more on the technical front. Osho, tell us now, 23,000 mark already tested. We've it was a second straight record session today also, but then now what to do? Is a case for some profit booking which cannot be ruled out for coming week, or should we hold with trailing stop loss?
See, overall, if we will be seeing the technical development in Nifty, then Nifty is moving in a rising channel pattern, and currently it is hovering just near the higher band of the consolidation. So I'm expecting a higher band of the channel. So I'm expecting that in the coming period, there can be some kind of consolidation that can be seen near the zone of 23,080 spot levels towards 23,160. So these two are the technical zone where one should try to book their profits, because there can be some kind of profit booking, as you have mentioned, because we have seen a very strong rally from the zone of 21,800. So there can be some kind of profit booking that can be seen in the coming period. And looking at the overall elevated volatility, so we are still not out of the woods that there is no volatility index. Volatility index is still on the higher end. So there can be some kind of strong movement that can be seen in the near period, but undertone remains bullish. One should better to utilize dips to accumulate long positions, and one should even try to book their profits once they are getting a decent profit for a short-term perspective. But overall trend is very positive. If I have to say the positional move, then 22,800 have seen a very decent writing from the put writers, and 23,200 has seen a decent writing from the call writers. So this is the immediate range that one can expect the market to hover in between. And 22,800 should be acting as a support, and one should try to book their profits around 23,200 in the coming week.
All right, Osho, thanks for that view coming in. Sudeep, I'm going to come back to you and let's get a little more sector specific now. Let's talk about the top gainer or the top winner of the week that went by, and that's Nifty Metal, a very smart 3.5% uptick coming over there. Nalco, NMDC, Hindalco, Hinsync, all of these counters have been winners. What's your outlook going ahead? This index has crossed 10,000 for the first time over the course of the week. Do you believe that the shine in metals is all set to continue? continue, or do you see some kind of slowdown coming here?
I believe the metal shine is going to continue. There are multiple reasons, and I think we are in a secular positive cycle for the metals. The US Fed will cut interest rate. It's a matter of time whether it happens twice or once in the second half of current fiscal is a matter which is being debated. But the fact is interest rates will come down. The reality on ground is that China has to and is slowly in finding ways to give fiscal stimulus to kind of kickstart the economy, to bring back growth in the economy, and that augurs very well for the metal prices globally. Of course, the Indian metal space also benefits out of the global price surge in metals. As far as domestic scenario is concerned, the demand for multiple metals, both ferrous and non-ferrous, is also going up in the domestic market. So the major construction infrastructure activities which are going on creates incremental demand for metals. So we are positive on metals for now. As far as our choice, we believe Vedanta is a very good pick, considering that it has a kind of presence in pretty much most of the metals and oil and gas as well. Also, the demerger which they have announced, which ensures that the company breaks up into 6 companies, will kind of create value unlocking opportunity. So Vedanta can definitely be looked at. It has moved up quite a bit, but it still can move up from current levels. On the other metals, I think we do like Tata Steel structurally and for a long term, and that can be bought for long term hold.
Okay, all right. So Sudeep shares two recommendations here, Vedanta and Tata Steel. Both happens to be from the metal pack, which was the biggest gainer for this whole week. But then Osho, now how to approach markets in terms of your recommendation? What would you recommend buying? The top sectors like PSU, metals, which have been performing, they will continue to perform. More legs to this pre-election rally, because next week going to be the last week before we have the election outcome.
See, basically, we are going to witness some kind of sectoral rotation in the market, because in this week, we have seen a lot of PSU companies have performed very well. The PSU banks, the private sector banks, these have performed very well. So Bank Nifty has given a very drastic move, which has given a very positive thumbs up to the benchmark index. But overall, there can be sectoral rotation that can be seen. I am expecting that IT should now start gaining some pace from here onwards, because major of the IT companies, the large cap and the mid cap, all the IT companies are hovering at a very strong support zone. So looking at the overall global markets, I am expecting that from here onwards, IT can gain some kind of traction in the near period. My first technical pick for the next coming trading sessions or next week is KPIT. KPIT today have seen a very strong up move, and it has given a consolidation breakout, which on technical parameters can also be seen as a ascending triangle pattern breakout. So I'm expecting that the move should continue in KPIT Technology. The target for this counter is approximately 1620 in the short-term period, while it is advisable to keep a strict stop loss around the zone of 1490, because this was the level from where it has started gaining traction in the recent period. The second counter is from the financial space. Bajaj Finserv, if I have to say, it has seen a decent correction in the recent period, but in the last 2 trading sessions, it has seen a very smart recovery from the lower levels and currently hovering near the 200-day SMA. So I'm expecting that Bajaj Finserv can gain a decent traction in the coming period. One should try to gauge the momentum in Bajaj Finserv, currently closed around 1600 odd levels. So one should try to buy around the same levels. The higher target that I'm expecting is around 1650 to 1660 for a very short-term perspective. And on the downside, 1575 is advisable to keep as a stop loss.
All right, Osho, thanks for that view coming in. IT and financials is where Osho is seeing value as of now. Bajaj, Finserv and KPIT Tech being his picks, but they'll stay on with us as we slip into a very short break on this weekly edition of Your Trades. We'll be right back with more about the week that went by and the week that's yet to come, so you stay tuned.
Welcome back. You're watching Your Trade. Sandeep Bandyopadhyay is with us. Sandeep, since we saw this week that RBI Bulletin also mentioned that rural activity is picking up, and so was the comments from ITC coming in the con call where they mentioned that the green shoots are clearly visible as the demand recovery recovers, and that too after several quarters. What do you have to make of the FMCG space from here?
Well, this is one of my contrarian views. I have been talking about FMCG, and I believe that this is one sector which has been neglected very long. The prices also haven't moved up. They're languishing, and probably for a valid reason, because the performance has been subdued for a very long time. But I think now the time has come when the tide is turning. We have a fantastic prediction of monsoon by IMD as well as other private meteorological research institutes. And if we have a good monsoon during the current financial year, rural demand is bound to pick up. So under the circumstances, companies focusing on rural markets, particularly FMCG companies like an HUL or Dabur, should definitely do well. We will probably see that's getting percolated into other sectors also which cater to rural markets. Hero MotoCorp comes definitely to mind under the circumstances.
All right, well, that was your take on the entire FMCG sector, but let's keep it going and let's talk about the cues to come next week. Now, we have a very important number, Sudeep, coming in next week, and which is the India GDP. Now, would you be able to comment on that? Any expectations that you have?
Well, I think we will have a good set of numbers. I don't see much of a challenge there. We'll have to watch for the inflation number and IIP numbers, which will also come out, and because those will be more important in the context of coming RBI policy.
Thanks very much, Sudeep, for joining in and sharing your valuable insight with us. Thanks very much. But then let's go ahead and let's understand that how did the market play out the whole week. D Street continues as the Nifty tops 23,000 mark. This impressive 1,000-point rally was achieved in just 87 sessions. Are there more legs to this rally? Will Nifty see another record high before June 4th? Ans joins in with all the details to our questions.
As we touched the 23,000 mark for the first time, we actually took 87 sessions to go from 22,000 mark to 23,000 mark. And top gainers during this 1,000-point rally were M&M, BPCL, Power Grid, SBI and Tata Steel. And all of these are trading near the record high levels only. Technically, if we see Nifty, then Nifty has been forming higher highs from last 10 consecutive sessions, advancing for last 7 consecutive sessions. And also it has given a good breakout from its double bottom chart pattern, which is very positive. This has happened yesterday actually, so this keeps the bias positive till that 22,800 stays protected on downside. But with this, we have also entered into an overbought zone, but still on a longer time frame we look positive for Nifty. We did a market survey as well, and according
around the big market view from market voices like Sandeep Tandon, Ramdev Agarwal as well as Hiren Ved. Listen in.
We remain convinced, that meaningful upside is there at Reliance SR Group in a big way. The value unlocking is so bound to happen. It was a question of time that demerger characteristics are there.
All the participants of capital markets, they're asset light and growing. You see all the results which are coming. They are 100% up, 38%, 40%. All of them are doing well because volumes are building up. There's an operating leverage and asset light nature of the market. So that's where I think we are going to see a lot of action. They are very consolidated businesses, asset light businesses, and the shift from the fixed income to financial products is very, very visible. But the growth in the financial market numbers will be far higher, maybe 20%, 25%. And so 5 lakh crores will go to maybe 6.5, 7 lakh crores in next year. So we are going to see a lot more money coming to the financial market side, and that is going to give birth to larger AMCs.
We own Prestige, we own Sobha. This is the best discretionary consumption play you can have in this country. The varieties of ABB, Siemens, Hitachi Energy, GET&D. I mean, these are all companies which supply into several end sectors: power, renewables, railways. There is electrification happening everywhere, right? Data centers are being built. India is going to be power hungry country.
All right, so India certainly provides a decadal growth opportunity. That's no doubt about it. And that's what the leaders in the big voices also has to say about it. Well, that's all in this weekly edition of Your Trades. A lot to watch for the coming week.
Well, yes, lots of cues to watch out for. India GDP numbers expected on 31st May. So that's going to be a big indicator to watch out for, like Sudeep said. Even CPI is going to be an important metric to watch out for. In terms of the Nifty earnings next week, you have Divi's Labs, Tata Steel, as well as Apollo Hospitals. And of course, Fed Beige Book also comes out next week. So lots of global as well as domestic indicators to watch out for.
And let's not forget the phase 6 and 7 polling.
Well, absolutely. Phase 7 polling, the last one before the election outcome on 4th June. So that polling will also take place on the 1st of June. But viewers, with that, we completely timed out on this edition of Your Trades. Thanks so much for watching.